You're on.
Okay. Today is 667th video. No, 668 actually. 667 was written to Ron Parsley, which he will probably never answer, because you know those folks are way above us. Anyway,
Yeah.
not saying he's not legitimate. He very well could be, but you know, I don't have a lot of faith in TV evangelists today, man. And that's not what I want to talk. I want to talk about the RFID chip today. This is discussing whether or not the Obamacare Act provides funding for the RFID chip. And
Or do we
I'm
have to pay for it?
I'm gonna put a link. Or do we have to pay for it? Well, we pay for everything Obama's doing through our noses, our butts, and everything else, scraping the hide off. And worst president ever, spent more money. You know, all we need is a couple more presidents like him, and we can rename ourselves broke. The United Broke States of America.
Right.
I doubt we'd like, you know, we'd be lucky to last through what he has done alone. Anyway, I'm just glad the Lord's coming. RFID chip.
Amen.
RFID chip. Alrighty, website. This is the Obamacare Act implant. Obamacare microchip, RFID chip myth, they're calling it. Now, you know, I mean, now let me ask you this. Since when has anything the government has ever done been implemented in the fashion in which it was meant to be? Not ever. Not ever. Now, this is why I'm saying that in this Obamacare Act, and I will leave a reference on here to this act where you can go and find it. Section 519 of the Food and Drug and Cosmetic Act. The Affordable Care Act, HR 3590, Obamacare. Okay. Now, it's talking about collecting data for faulty chips. Why? Why do that? Make no sense. Now, the Lord told me that the United States, this next year, through our license branch, our BMB, where you go pick up your tags and your driver's license, they're going to try to implement the mark of the beast through our license branch this next year. I don't know what time this next year. All I heard the Lord say was just 2017. Okay. Now, HR 3200 was an unsuccessful bill introduced in the U.S. I'm reading this report here, okay. House of Representatives, July 14, 2009. It included an amendment to Section 519 of the Food and Drug and Cosmetic Act, which allowed the data collect to failure analysts of facilitate analysts of the post-market safety and outcome data from Class 2 devices, RFID chip classified device by the FDA. Okay. Now this was saying that it's failed. You know what? I have a hard time believing anything that liberals say anymore. This looks to me like a propaganda that was put on the internet, because I actually found another one. which I'm not going to go to, and because you know, it's like Pelosi said, we got to pass this so we can see what's in it. We got to pass this. Okay, let's blow this bomb up so we can see how strong it is. You hit it with the hammer and I'll stand way back. What a bunch of idiots. Anyway, the FDA, you know, anytime a liberal government is running something, man, I just get in kind of nervous about what's going on, because you know, today's liberal is communist at heart. Bernie Sanders, who is an open communist, is running under the liberal agenda, and you know what? I've had people tell me, I don't care who runs over there, I'm going to vote for him. You know, they could get Charles Manson to run under the liberal ticket, and you know what? 95% of the liberals would back him up. They would back him up. Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, it doesn't matter. As long as he's got that name, you know, Hillary Clinton, who cares if they're all a bunch of mass murderers? But this is what I'm saying, you know. And now they're admitting, this is what I'm saying, they're admitting that the Obamacare Act does say something about it. We may never know. I mean, who in the world can go through that thing? You know what I'm saying? It's probably got about 4,000 or 5,000 pages to it. So, and this is what I'm saying. The Lord has told me that we can expect this to happen in this coming year. And if this is coming this coming year, then you know, the one who's behind this is the Antichrist, you know, and people's going to be screaming, blaming it on the government. And truthfully, the Antichrist is probably not even in this country, even though he's orchestrating everything that's going on right now, and he's coming from the Q. And there is no doubt. See, the Bible talks about the Russia and Iran leading into this thing with Ezekiel 38:39 and Isaiah 17, that those two countries, and you can see that Russia and Iran are playing a major part in everything that's going on in the Middle East right now. So we can tell for sure that the Bible prophecy is being fulfilled. And if the Lord is telling His prophets right now that the implement of the Antichrist is going to be in this particular year, then you can bet your booties, man, that everything else that the Bible talks about as far as the Antichrist is concerned is coming well into play. It's coming well into play. Okay. And I just see everything lining up. You know, it seems to me like God is getting our churches into the place where we need to be, getting us ready for the rapture of the church, getting ready for Joel chapter 2. Man, I'm just waiting any second now for that blast from heaven, just like it happened in the upper room on the day of Pentecost. This is going to happen again, but it's going to happen to the whole earth. This blast from heaven is going to happen to the whole earth. The Bible says, I will pour out my Spirit. Listen, pour it out. God has given it in the past in measure. There is times when God has given it in a church, when a church has been just filled in that church. And there has been times when He has given it in certain places and in certain countries where the Spirit has been poured out in that particular place. In measures. God has given it in measures. I mean, some places even, they would get so excited, they would even say, man, this is it. This is Joel chapter 2 of the last days. The latter rain is being poured out. But we haven't seen that. When this happens, listen, this is what God has told me. But when this happens, it's going to hit like a thunderbolt. It's going to happen like an explosion, like the strongest thing that you have ever seen. It's going to happen in that fashion and in that way, and it's going to hit the entire earth. The Bible says, and when this gospel has been preached in all nations for a witness unto me. Now listen what it says. It didn't say this gospel has been taught. It's not what it said. It didn't say when this gospel has been written. That is not what it said. It said when this gospel has been preached. Preached. You know what preach is? It's what Peter did on the day of Pentecost, around that day of Pentecost, when 3,000 were saved. That's what the Bible is talking about right there. When this gospel is preached unto every nation, then the end shall come. The rapture. The end shall come. Alrighty, God bless you. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you again next time right here. Another great message of truth. If you want truth, go to God's prophets. Amen. God bless you.